back. We're late to late tonight. We've got the mad PJ Gallagher with us, Mary Byrne, and of course the fountain of knowledge that is Lorcan Collins. Back with us again tonight. And if there's anything to know about the 1916 Rising, Lorcan is the man to tell us. And tonight you're going to focus on the women of the Rising.
Yeah, I suppose for a long time the women's role in the Rising was somewhat ignored by historians and it was kind of swept under the carpet. But in my new book I've listed off 276 women who had some role, be it major or be it minor, in the whole Easter Rising. And that's a huge number altogether, because generally your history book will say there's about 100 women or 150 women. So this has nailed down 276 women, which is kind of cool.
More than I thought.
Yeah, it's a lot more than a lot of people thought as well. But you know, the more you look into it, the more names you find. And women signed things called the Roll of Honour in 1936, so about 215 signed that. But the medals as well that were issued in the 1940s, a good number got medals. So you have loads of sources from the witness statements, and when you cobble it all together, you come up with that figure, 276.
Okay. Well, there are many listed that we wouldn't know of, but there are many that we are familiar with. Countess Markovic, of course, is the obvious one.
Markovic is the classic name that rolls off the tongue, you know, the Anglo-Irish aristocrat born into the Gore Booth family in Lissadell in Sligo, studied art in London and Paris, met Casimir Markovic's account, divorced him a few years later after they married, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, what I mean is, you know, she's very well known, but the fabulous thing about her is that she's second in command in St. Stephen's Green to Michael Mallon, brandishing her weapon outside the Shelbourne Hotel. She's an incredibly strong woman altogether, right? But there are plenty of women who are not so well known, okay? My favourite of all is Winifred Carney. Now, Miss Carney was James Connolly's secretary for the Union for a long time. Yeah, she lived in Belfast. She's from Bangor. And Connolly invited her to come down to take part in the Rising, but to act as his secretary. So she was the first woman to charge into the GPO in 1916, and she had a Remington typewriter in this arm and a Webley revolver in this arm. You know, like that's the secretary, isn't it? You know, she should be the patron saint of secretaries.
Let's make her that.
You ever see?
Don't mess with her, eh?
I know. I mean, there are other women as well who have been recently commemorated. I suppose Rosie Hackett is the classic name as well. Rosie got a bridge named after her over the River Liffey. Now that's we've 24 bridges over the River Liffey all the way to Lucan, and one is named after a woman. And that's that would annoy me if I was a woman. It annoys me as a man.
It's annoying me now that you mention it.
Yeah, well, you should be angry. Yeah.
What is her story?
Rosie was a real working class hero. When she was 18, she led the strikes in Jacob's Biscuit Factory, and then 2 years later she led them again during the lockout in 1913, and they sacked her. And James Connolly gave her a job working in the Union as an organiser, the ITGWU, in Liberty Hall. She joined the Irish Citizen Army as an equal with all the men in the Citizen Army. That's the wonderful thing about the Irish Citizen Army, that they were very into equal opportunities. They are proper revolutionaries, right? Of course, she fought in St. Stephen's Green during the Rising as well. So she's great. You know, she was just a random woman chosen amongst the list of hundreds to commemorate, to say to you, look, there are a lot more women like her who were in the Rising who don't get a bridge named after them. But the next 24 bridges should be named after them as well, maybe, you know.
Okay, so it was named after a woman, though, isn't it?
And Olivia's very
so basically, all those men are pointless without the woman in the middle.
I love it. Oh, sister.
There's another lady you want to talk about.
Well, there's Margaret Skinner, I suppose, would be that classic sort of revolutionary. She was young, I think she was 24 when she left her job in Glasgow as a maths teacher, and with her final cheque she bought a Lee Enfield rifle, made her way to Belfast, then down to Dublin, and she lived with Countess Markovic in Rathmines on Leinster Road in Surrey House. And just before the Rising was due to kick off, herself and 9 other women were down at Merrion Square waiting to be brought to De Valera's position in Boland's, but nobody picked them up. So instead, they heard the firing coming from Stephen's Green and went up there. She was taking pot shots across from the College of Surgeons to the Shelbourne Hotel, and she says later on that more than once the body that she was aiming for fell in the window, okay? But she was wounded in action, throwing a firebomb into a few houses to try and remove a sniper, and she was shot 3 times, shot in action, like nearly killed.
Holy moly,
And
Margaret.
years later, she said to De Valera, she cornered him at one of the commemorations, and she said, how come you left us women standing there at Merrion Square? Why didn't you bring us down to Boland's? And De Valera, who brought no women down, said, with hindsight, I should have brought all the women because it would have freed up my men from the cooking duties. So you can imagine her reaction.
He did not say that, did he?
Nasty piece
This was
of
after
work.
she'd been shot
Yeah,
3
After
times.
shot 3
She landed
times.
this
No,
on.
what? I wouldn't say get him present again. No, I tell you, I'm going to see
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
I'm kicking him up. Kick him in the head.
Mary, that sounds
I
aggressive.
know, I'm being very
Extra
violent.
security will now be called to
Seriously?
Glasnevin Cemetery to protect De Valera's grave.
But to add insult to injury, when the pensions were issued later on for those revolutionaries who had taken part in the fight for Irish freedom, a very stringent set of rules were applied to them. You know, people in the pub always say, has anyone got a pension? That's absolutely not true. But Margaret Skinner, logically and rightfully, applied for a pension, but she was refused on the grounds that she couldn't have been a soldier because she was a woman, and she didn't get her pension initially. She did get one
for
later on,
God's
but
sake.
initially getting angry, Mary.
Yes,
she is.
Yeah.
Have you
yeah.
got a handbook coming out? Where's the
Finally, it's called 1916, the Rising Handbook. Now, I've listed all the people who were involved in the Rising all over Ireland, in Galway and in Enniscorthy as well. So there are lists of prisoners and lists of the women, and there's other little tidbits of information as well, you know, the sea and the Easter Rising. So hopefully it'll be a nice little...
And this is based around
book.
1916.
Yeah.
It doesn't deal with the War of Independence.
Doesn't deal with
That's
the
still to
Tan
come.
War. That's still to come, for sure, for sure.
Lorcan, thank you so much.
Well, thank
you
you.
are officially the wisest person I know.
Well, that's very sad.
I'm going to rub off
So are
and
my
hopefully I'll
friends.
get some
Yeah,
intelligence.
believe me.
Yeah, well, if you
Yeah.
keep doing that, Mary, you might get arrested.
Alrighty then, now we're going to head to the kitchen to Yvonne. But we've had a tweet in from